Welcome to Flex Your Feelings, the mental health and wellness podcast with me, Sam Bell, and I'm joined by my lovely, fabulous co-host, Mr. James Penny. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm a little tired today, I will be honest, but I've had a couple of cups of coffee, so I'm all good.
I am very well aware that the caffeine is fully
All of a
entering
sudden.
your system.
When I was trying to parallel park earlier,
Yeah, maybe you should go re-park now. You might be a little bit more
it
focused.
definitely is a taxi to the curb situation. Did you see how much room there was?
Yeah, I've got little legs, so it's a good thing you're not giving me a lift.
I was so
You might have
tired.
to carry me to the car.
But no, I've had a couple of cups of coffee now, so I feel very much more awake.
Perfect.
And I'm excited to be here.
Perfect.
How are you?
There's a conversation about caffeine and how quickly you should have it in the morning, but we won't get onto that today.
Okay, well, we could store that for another time. But how are you?
Let's curb that. Pun fully intended. I'm good. I'm very, very well. Not coming off a night shift this time, so probably a little bit more energetic, which is good. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm all right. I'm
Good.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, I thought we could talk about modern day dating.
Yeah, I think your thought is correct. I think we should.
Well, that's good. I'm glad we're on the same page, because otherwise we'd have to be having another conversation very quickly.
Yeah, we should probably iron that out before we start recording.
Yeah, we're a little bit sort of ad hoc about it, aren't we?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. I don't think anything in this thing is going to be scripted, which we may go off on tangents, but, you know, it is what it is.
And hey, if either of us notice the other one going off on a tangent, feel free to say, we've gone off on a tangent, let's bring it back. But yeah, the overarching theme today is modern day dating.
And if it has a negative effect on your mental health. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to cover.
There is a lot to cover. We were originally going to talk about relationships as a whole, weren't we? Mm-hmm. But then it was like, that's probably a 3-hour cinematic episode.
I like the sound of that, though.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I'm up for that
Blockbuster movie.
Eventually, yeah. But yeah, so we kind of pulled it back and said, right, look, let's take modern day dating as kind of like a subcategory of relationships. And yeah, I mean, my personal experience, your personal experience, how we find dating in this lovely era that we now live in. Like, I'm almost jealous of like our parents and stuff.
Of the older generation.
Like that old school mentality of going out and finding a male/female that you want to pursue. You know, going out. Do you remember like chat up lines? They're not a fucking thing. Like, because that's through a fucking text now, isn't it? Like, you have to be really witty with your words in terms of like typing. Whereas before, you would have had to just come here often. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that fucking bullshit. Like, it is a fucking. All I ever think about is I grew up watching Friends and Joey Tribbiani. How you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, you do a far better impression than I do. But do you know what I mean? It's like, and now it's completely changed. And I dread to think how the fucking world is going to be when, like, our children, not mine and yours, like.
Oh, I was going to say, we haven't had that conversation.
You know what
yet.
I mean? But like,
I'm not sure I'm ready, Sam.
any potential kids that you and I have in our own relationships, like, what the fuck is it going to be like when they grow older?
Well,
So what does modern day dating, like, if there was a book, a dictionary of James Penny definitions, modern day dating, the little fucking caption next to it would be what?
okay. I think it would probably have something to do with technology and primarily dating apps.
Yes.
Modern day dating to me is about, you know, we rely so much now on dating apps and that technology to connect with people, and that brings around its very unique set of challenges, shall we say, or opportunities to learn. But I do think there's dating apps, for example, have the potential to be very healthy and very what's the word? You can use them. Can't think of what to say now. Cut this bit out. The caffeine's sunk.
Well, you mentioned, didn't you, before we were having a little chat prior, and it was like, you've never been able to connect with so many people.
You can use them in a very positive way,
Yeah.
or equally they can be used in a very toxic way.
Yeah.
I think. But so going back to what you asked me, it's modern day dating equals dating apps to me.
Yeah. I think I nail on the head. Like, I'm of the same opinion. Like, if you were to just ask, what is modern day dating? It's like, it's a fucking swipe, or it's a like. It's, do you remember Facebook pokes? You used to be able to poke people on Facebook. I mean, I don't know if you still can, but not that it's a dating app, but that was like
Such
another
a
way
sort
of
of-
getting someone's attention, wasn't it?
Not passive aggressive, but it was such a sort of like, I'm going to poke you and see what your
Someone got
reaction
paid
is.
millions to think of that fucking button.
Yeah.
That's what's quite annoying about this world. But anyway, and it's like, it's not just dating apps for me. It's like the Instagrams as well. So you'll
Social media.
social media in general, yeah, like you'll like a picture and then you'll go. There's like this thing where people go back on someone's grid, and if they've liked a picture from like 6 months ago, it's like, oh, they're definitely interested. And it's just like, maybe they just like the fucking picture. The reality is that's not what happens. They are doing that for a particular reason. So I think modern day dating as well it's very tactical. Like it's very premeditated almost. Like you go out almost like strategic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you're a product as well.
Yeah.
You are presenting yourself as a product to be purchased. In my view, the way that it's packaged is packaged. You're creating a
Talking
brand.
about your
for yourself.
package again, James.
That's my favourite subject. You're packaging yourself as a product, and then you're putting it out there to be potentially consumed by someone.
Yeah,
And that has its drawbacks, I think.
yeah.
But we're going to have different experiences.
Why's that?
Well, I think because potentially dating apps for maybe the gay community differ somewhat to dating apps in the heterosexual community. And not that there's necessarily the app is an app, it's a way to connect with people, but there's going to be sort of nuances there around, how someone might use Tinder to how someone might use Grindr, or how someone might use Hinge, or someone uses, I don't know, Plenty of Fish.
Is that that's still a thing? Plenty of Fish, isn't it?
I think it's
feel
still
like
a
that's
thing.
for like a
There hasn't. There isn't.
maybe for your generation, not mine. I had to get one age-related joke in here. Like I feel like that's a thing on every episode.
Yeah, I'm quite angry on the inside.
If looks could kill, like I don't know if the visuals are going to go out on this.
I'm
but
hurt, actually,
Let's
more than
zoom
angry.
in on that.
No, I'm
I
disappointed.
am winding you up. Like, but yeah,
No,
it is
Plenty of Fish is still a thing.
One of someone I spoke to the other week were talking about Match.com. I didn't
Oh, yeah,
I didn't
that's
even know
still a
that was
thing.
still a thing.
Yeah.
because that was like kind of the first, as far as I'm aware, like online dating. Like you physically had to go onto a computer, didn't you? And like you'd make a profile and like Plenty of Fish and Match.com. I mean, I never went on either, but funny story actually. When I was a lot younger, an ex-girlfriend of mine, her mum was on it, and she said to me, she said, "Do you know this guy?" And bearing in mind, I was like 20, probably like 22 at the time, and this guy I played football with had tried to talk to her on Plenty of Fish, and I was like, I went to football and I was like, mate, you're 22 years old. Why are you on Plenty of Fish? I was like, well, also, why are you chatting to 45-year-old women?
Wow.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, like an older woman and that, but it was back then. It was like, what the fuck's
It was
going on?
probably seen as a little bit of a taboo thing.
Yeah, like because I think Tinder and that was definitely about. But I mean, I was in a relationship, so I wasn't on it back then. But yeah, it was like if you're 22 years old, I don't think you would be using Plenty of Fish. But maybe that's what he was into. Maybe you wanted to go for an older. We don't know. But anyway,
but modern day dating is so.
there's that tangent we spoke about.
Yeah. Well, no, that's good. We want a tangent every now and then. But modern day dating, I think, it's can be wonderful because we can connect to so many people. But equally, I think I'd like to cover some of the challenges and how it can be detrimental to your mental health, and then how you might help yourself use them
like
in a
almost like a
safer
little bit of
way.
advice if we can give.
Yeah,
it,
if we can.
yeah.
So, what do you think? Just off the top of your head, is one of the main challenges about using apps in modern day dating?
So I can obviously only speak from my personal experience, and I think it's that it goes back to that product that you're talking about, and it's if used incorrectly, and I did use them incorrectly at a point in my life.
What's incorrectly?
I was almost obsessed with getting matches because I was swiping to feel something in terms of I wanted that external validation. Like I remember at one point in my life, I was like bragging that I had like 1,200 matches or something. It's like,
1,200?
why the fuck haven't you spoken
I've
to me?
never had that many.
Yeah, but it was like, oh yeah, like, oh, I had 1,200 matches on Tinder, and it's like, well done, mate. Like, what the fuck are you achieving here? And it was like, I needed that boost in confidence. Like, look at all these people that like 4 pictures of me. They haven't got a fucking clue who I am,
Yeah.
but they think he's quite a good looking lad. I like that, and that was enough for me. Then it was boost that ego, give me that external validation, and every time that match, it was like that instant dopamine hit. It's like, oh, another person likes me. Yeah, I'm great. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's a really good point, that the apps can be used as a source of external validation, and that we just want that moment to feel the buzz or the hit of, oh, someone's matched with me. Oh, I'm good enough now, or yeah, I've got it, or I'm attractive.
Yeah.
But it's such a surface level
That's bullshit,
interaction.
Man. It's so superficial. It's unbelievable. And it's funny because obviously, when I say that, it's obviously a common theme amongst straight men because, full disclosure, I'm on dating apps now. And some profiles of women are like, do not swipe if you are just looking for an ego boost. So it's not it's not just me that was doing it back then. It's obviously a reoccurring theme here that blokes just swipe because they want to get that. They want to get that hit. And like, don't get me wrong, I understand it. Who doesn't want to feel good about themselves? Like that's kind of what life's about, right? Feeling good with about yourself. But if you use a dating app in a certain way to create that external validation, for me, it was fucking so damaging because I wasn't even interested in talking to some of them. And that's terrible. Like, because you don't think about what you're doing to that other person. Right. So yeah, I was getting that.
You don't know if they're, genuinely wanting to make a connection and you're just using it as sort of a pastime.
Exactly. So then they're thinking, oh, this guy actually likes me. And then all of a sudden they send you a message. I've got no intention of replying to it. And then you do that whole ghosting thing. And then that person could be sat there thinking, well, what's wrong with me? Why didn't they want to talk to me? Why didn't they find me attractive enough? So you're taking your dopamine hit, which is all about you and so selfish, but you've just potentially really harmed somebody else's feelings, and you just don't think about it like that.
That's an interesting point. And I think there are, in both of those examples, so whether or not you're using an app to get your dopamine hit, but you're not considering someone else is there for a more genuine connection, what that raises for me is that a way to be healthier in using the apps is to create that conversation with yourself and prioritize that relationship with yourself before you start using the apps. Yeah. Because if you use them carelessly, like you say, it can be damaging for people. It's not to say that you can't use an app to make a connection, to have a hookup. But if you sort of culturally, people use the app as a 5-minute pastime. They'll just like swipe,
like
swipe,
a scroll on
swipe,
Instagram,
scroll, and then they'll get matches, and then they'll just put the phone down.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it.
And it's like, well, what are you using it for then?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What are you getting from it other than that momentary validation?
Yeah, I mean, I've had conversations with people, and it's like you do the whole. We joked about like the small talk thing, right? And oh, what are you here for? And like some people are just like, oh, I don't really know, and it's like, should you be on them then? Like, I'm not saying don't be on them. Like, it's just a question, right?
But it does raise the question, what's the point of being on them?
Well, yeah, if you're not interested in dating, or like you just said, if your sole intention is to go out and have a hookup or whatever, make it clear. And I can guarantee you, the more honest you are, the more people that will be accepting and be like, you definitely will get what you want, right? But that blurred lines of, I'm not really too sure. Like, I don't think the apps make it any easier themselves, because obviously I'm speaking from my point of view, but when you go on like a Hinge or Tinder, you kind of put your dating goals, and there's literally an option, not quite sure. Like, why?
Unsure, yeah.
Yeah, oh, I'm unsure what I really want. I'm
Undecided.
just here literally to swipe and to have past 10 minutes of my fucking day. But
so if we think about that option of undecided, you think, well, are they trying, the apps, I mean, the creators of the apps trying to cater for the possibility that you could download an app being a bit curious, not really know what you're there for, and then all of a sudden, boom, someone matches with you. You think, wow, I'm interested.
Yeah, and I like that
I might
idea.
then pursue it.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to see how I feel. I've just come out of a relationship. I'm not sure what I want. I'm going to, explore what's out there and then make a decision whether or not it feels right in the moment. And, it's just, if you're not clear on what you're using them for, I think that creates a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
For yourself and for other people.
And I think, like, in my opinion, I've been on them before, and I'm sure I'm not alone in saying this, where I've probably known in my head and my heart that I don't want to be on them, that I'm not interested in a relationship, I'm probably not ready for it, but I'm on them anyway.
Do you think being on them makes you feel like you're not missing out? Like you're still connected to the idea? Yeah, FOMO.
I think so, yeah. I think a little bit of it is you feel like you're told what you should do. It's like, oh, you've been out of a relationship now for 6 months. Like, get on dating apps. Just like dip your toe in the water. And it's like, yeah, but I've got no interest, but I'll do it anyway. And like, to be honest, I went on one date with someone a few months ago, and I had an amazing time. And it was really, really, like, she's an amazing girl. Like, we don't talk anymore, but I had 2 really, really good dates. Had a great time. But after it, I'm like, not interested. Like, I'm just not interested in finding a relationship right now. But yeah, I think there's so much uncertainty out there in terms of you can make those apps whatever you want them to be. But like you said, I feel like you've really got to be clear with yourself first. And if you know your intentions, make it clear to the other person as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just a one-way street. It is very much your choices are your choices, but your choices do have an impact on the other person on the other end of their phone. So let me hear all about you. Because there's one particular app that I have never been on.
Skirting around. You just want me to say the name of it, don't you?
So, well, we spoke before, and like, so Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, in like the heterosexual world.
Tinder, Bumble, Hinge.
It sounds like it could be a music thing. And I
way
personally, I feel like that's kind of the tier. So there's tiers to these apps.
Tell me about the tiers quickly.
So Tinder is like a bit of the low one. Like, if you really want just like quick hookup, Tinder's probably the place that people would go. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just saying that's kind of Tinder's almost seen a little bit dirty. I think it's like a bit like grimy, right? Then you got Bumble, which you match. Well, I match a female. They have to then say, like, make the first move in terms of the conversation. So it gives all the power to them, which is really demoralising when you swipe with these absolute worldies and then they don't want to talk to you.
But again, we don't know the reasons to why.
No, of course not.
They've got 5 minutes in their day and they've gone swipe, swipe, swipe.
And also, there's a 24-hour limit on it as well. So if you're not someone that goes on dating apps within like a lot, that match is gone. Do you know what I mean? But then there's Hinge, which is kind of, I feel like, is kind of seen as like, if there is such a thing, top tier. Like, it's the most, dare I say it, sophisticated app out there. There's prompts. Like, I feel like most people on there that I've spoke to are ready to, they want a relationship, they know what they're after. And yeah, but
that's so interesting that tier kind of.
Well, it's just something that I think if approach. I had someone else on here, like, they would agree with me. I think like that's.
Oh no, I think it exists. I mean, people start talking about the apps in certain ways, and they develop a sort of an identity around them, or a persona. Like Tinder's seen as a hookup app.
It is, yeah. Like you hear about people going away on holidays and stuff, and it's like, jump on Tinder because you're probably gonna you're gonna get laid if you want to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, which is nothing wrong with having a hookup, obviously.
Absolutely not.
But like you said earlier, be clear about your intentions. But okay, so there's like a tier system going on in the heterosexual community.
What about world?
I'd say it's probably, I can't speak for all gay people, but from my experience, there's definitely something similar.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I feel, personally speaking, that Tinder is just for hookups.
Yeah.
But I mean, all of the apps that you've just mentioned, I think, are available for LGBTQ plus people as well. But there is one app that in my world, so, you know...
I've been waiting for this for so long.
There's one app, and you may or may not know what's coming, but there is one app in my world
that's what
that
he
has
said.
a very mixed... steady. Has a very mixed... but it's a very divisive app. People have a lot of opinions about it, and that is Grindr.
Even the word just
You've
puts a
heard of
smile
it.
on my face. I'm literally like a kid in a sweet shop right now. Like, come on, listen. I want to hear all
I know
the
it's like
juicy stuff.
Grindr. I mean, come on. But
Yeah.
that is an app for all occasions, I think. They have been very inclusive with with
What
their
a choice of words.
language, and yeah, it has a reputation for primarily being a gay hookup app.
Yeah,
where
I mean, like,
it even gives people to the nearest point, 0.something meters away.
oh, there's a joke.
So
there
if you
about
really want to hook
measurements
up with
and
someone
stuff.
very quickly,
What about inches away?
yeah, I think they use a different metric system.
Yeah, it's American, isn't it? Yeah, because like obviously I said to you like prior to us starting recording, like I've seen. I mentioned this particular series, and is it actually like that? Like this guy made a profile, and within like fucking 10 minutes, it was like let's go in the bathroom slash toilet if you're American or whatever, and then go, get to it. And I'm like, is that actually what it's like? And it can be like that, right?
And this is not about shaming anyone or anything.
No, absolutely not.
This is just about understanding that there are different ways of using the apps. And again, I like what you said earlier about being clear with your intentions. But Grindr has got a strong reputation for being, I think you said it earlier as well, and I don't necessarily agree that it should be this way, but it's seen as a bit dirty. You know, like get on Grindr, get your latest hookup sorted. You can, within minutes, you can know who's on the app is around you and if they're whatever they're looking for. To me, however, that doesn't rule out the fact that you can use apps, including Grindr, to make genuine connections in terms of looking for perhaps something more than a hookup. You can use them that way if people are clear about their intentions. There are options to be able to say, you're looking for a relationship or dates. It's not just hookups.
Yeah.
There's so many options on there, but I think the reputation of an app precedes it. So when you join it, you maybe have a mentality where you start thinking, oh, this is just for a hookup. I'm not going to meet anyone. But that's not necessarily the case.
So you almost like, I'm trying to think of the phrase, but you almost like kind of you don't let yourself be vulnerable because you're like, this isn't going to amount to anything. It's literally going to be a hookup. Yeah. So you're almost like putting your walls up straight away because it's like, well, what's the fucking point in this?
And I think we're sort of getting to a point in my mind of where we can say it's about setting your expectations or managing your expectations. Just because the app has a reputation doesn't mean that will be your experience. You can use the apps to be very clear about whether or not you want to look for a relationship rather than just a sexual hookup. But if you're going into it thinking that this is just going to be some sort of disheartening and rather soulless experience, then it probably will end up being that way. Yeah. I think we've got to be very careful about how we are approaching using the apps because they can be used in a very healthy way. Because if someone else is putting out there, for example, that they want to have a relationship and not just have a hookup, and you're putting that out there too, and you match, then there's nothing to say that you can't explore in a very healthy way having a relationship with that person. But to me, it still brings up, what are you on the apps for? What do you expect from them? Are you even willing to meet someone in person? That's a big thing.
Yeah,
me.
apparently
I've
so.
got a lot to say about that. I do.
We've got 15 minutes, mate, so we can talk about it.
Okay. To me, if I wanted to give a bit of advice, like we said earlier, if we can give any advice, then we will. If you want to use the apps in a healthier way, for me, as soon as you think that there could be something there, whether it is a hookup or a date or a relationship, whatever it is, move off the app. I would say as quickly as possible,
like into like a WhatsApp conversation or something like that.
Like there is a tier ranking system there as well, isn't there? Right?
Is there?
Well, yeah. You start with the app,
Yes.
Then you might move off the app onto WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Primarily.
So, I would put one in
texting.
between.
Oh, would you?
Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's so in what mine would be like on the app. Oh, have you got Instagram? I mean,
Let's have a quick
99%
perv on there.
of you have.
Yeah.
So then it's like you message on there, or some people, and I'm guilty of this myself, they put their Instagram bio in their dating bio, and that's a whole conversation as well. People are on dating apps to get followers on in their Instagrams.
Yeah, which is
in my opinion
different reason.
Fucking well. I mean, that's well egotistical, in my opinion. But like, I'm guilty of it. I did it back in the day.
Yeah.
I gained loads of followers through it, and it's like all these random women following me. I don't know who the fuck they are. But anyway,
again,
continue with the tiers,
though, isn't it? So tiers.
So you're on the app
first,
WhatsApp.
Then you put in another layer or tier, which is Instagram. Then you go to WhatsApp, and then you might, in my world, you then go to maybe exploring a voice note.
Oh, I'm voice notes all day.
This is my tier, right?
I think you and I sent each other a voice note on our very first conversation.
Then it might move on to a video call.
Wow, there's layers to this shit.
Yeah, there is. Like, this is complex. And then you will move on to organising a face-to-face meet.
Yeah.
Now, in my view, the quicker that happens, I say quicker, but the intention is that you want to come off the app because you're not actually getting to know the person through the app. I find it very disheartening when people send lengthy messages to each other on these apps. And
you're not here for a fucking pen pal, right?
You're not getting the energy of that person. You're not getting to see them out and about, how they interact with other people. What are they like in 3D? You're just getting to know them.
I want to see every curvature. There's a fucking joke there. Yeah. What app are we on?
But it's a very two-dimensional experience, and you're building up an idea of who that person is in your head based on the words that they're saying. It can be interpreted in many different ways. So for me, it's about whatever. Hookups. Obviously, you're going to want to hook up, right? So the intention is going to be that you meet very quickly if you want to have sex. But for relationships and people using the apps wanting to find a meaningful connection, for me, people take too long before they actually meet in person.
Because I feel like there's that, and this is just the way it is at the minute. But if you almost wait for that perfect opportunity,
there isn't one.
There isn't one, but somebody else, he's talking to somebody else as well.
Well, you're hedging your bets, aren't
and
you?
And you kind of are. Like, I mean, back yourself, but at the same time, like, why are you fucking spending 2 weeks sending, hey, how was your day? Like, like.
I find those messages very tiring.
Yeah, it's Monday.
Because let me rephrase. I find them tiring if I haven't met someone. So I've caught myself over the years matching with people on apps, and then remembering the tier system. We've come off the app and we're now on WhatsApp, which is it's funny. It's more personal, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Giving out your number.
Giving out your number is personal.
And even though I think you should act with caution when giving out your number, you are still the one in the position of power because you can block someone if it gets weird.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I approach giving out my number as something to be overly cautious about, because if someone gets a bit odd with me, I'll just really block. Care. But I do think it's obviously very prudent to say, well, just think about if you're giving this person your number in good faith and you genuinely believe that you want to make a connection. But then, you give your number out, you're on WhatsApp, but then it can go weeks with, hey, how are you? What are you up to? And it's like, well, I'm talking to someone I've never met, and I'm forging this fantasy relationship in my head. And then quite often, just speaking from personal experience, when I do get round to meeting them after 2 weeks of a lot of investment in the, hey, how are you? How was your day? I meet them in person and we don't get on, or there isn't. And I'm not necessarily saying there has to be chemistry straight away, but you just get that sense that they're not who you thought they were because you didn't meet them quick enough.
So just sitting with that and bringing it back to the whole potential mental health. I don't suppose you've ever thought about this, because I've literally just thought about it then, right? So you build this picture up, an image of how this person is going to be. So you almost give yourself that excitement, that joy. This person's going to be amazing. Like, I mean, how many times have you planned a fucking future with someone, right? But you then meet them and it's like...
it's a very quick crash back down to reality.
That's got to be detrimental to your mental health, because you build up this image of how things are gonna be, because and then it's like, nope, crashing down, and you're like, fucking hell, like, and then
I mean, that's partly on you, isn't it?
of course
Because
it
you've
is,
built that
absolutely
fantasy.
yeah. I'm not saying that's on anybody else other than yourself, but it's like that's just another like layer to the potential that it does have to affect your mental health in a negative way, because you're then like, well, hang on, I spent 2 weeks talking to this person, like I thought he or she was perfect,
Yeah.
and it could be that case of, well, I thought this person was perfect, they're not, so there's probably no one out there for me. And then it's like you get into that spiral of like, well, I'm always going to be alone because of this person who I thought was amazing, thought we were going to head it off, we didn't, there's not going to be anybody. And the reality is, that's bullshit. There is somebody out there for everybody, right?
There is. But yeah, you get very disheartened, you feel very sad, very disappointed.
Yeah.
And then probably, you know, you get stuck in a negative cycle of thinking, you know, create a very damaging narrative about what that meant. And like you say, oh, there's no one out there for me. This is never going to work. Why am I bothering?
Yeah.
Come off the apps. There's no point. Whereas actually, if you meet someone quicker, in my book, you're more likely to get a more accurate sense of who that person is and whether or not you want to pursue a relationship and a connection with them, rather than dragging out endless messaging, which to me is just fueling the fantasy. It's not reality.
Yeah,
you don't know anything about the person, just what they're typing on a screen.
Yeah, I agree. And like, there's a series literally made about people typing and not being who they are, right? Catfish. Like, it's actually a thing. So yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, I think as well, we've obviously spoken about like being clear with your intentions and stuff like that. And like, I've kind of said in the past to people that I've spoken to, right, look, I'm not here for a pen pal. Let's meet up straight away. Because I don't want to waste your time.
Just isn't it fascinating though how different people react to that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
I'd rather
some
talk
people
to you for a little bit and get to know you. Fuck off.
I hate that.
No. Okay. You got to know me. This is something that you need to know about me. I'm not interested in waiting around. See you later.
And
it's
I
fucking
don't
brutal.
want to be disrespectful to anyone, but my heart does sink when someone says that. I think, oh, okay, you're not for me, because you're not learning anything from me. I mean, I think people want to. If you're genuine, people might say that because they want to trust the person somehow,
which I understand.
More. But then I challenge that again and say, well, I don't even know how you establish trust via message.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You don't know them. So it's not genuine trust. You're maybe coming more from a place where you're thinking, I'm not ready, it's too soon, what if they don't like me? Some narrative that's your own, that's not really anything to do about whether that person is safe. So when somebody says, oh, I'd rather just talk on here for a while, instant orange flag. No, I wouldn't necessarily say red flag, but I'd question. I'd say, oh, okay, I was keen to meet up for a coffee or something.
Yeah, especially if they're like really local. Like, I don't know what, I mean, my range is national, but I'm whittling it down. I'm really struggling
globally,
here, guys. So.
Really, let's put it out there. I've completed Tinder on several occasions, and I've had to up the radius of how far away people are.
There's no one new around your area.
Oh,
fuck.
That's really disappointing. Maybe if we look at other countries.
Mate, there was a thing at one point where you could group Tinder. Did you ever do this?
Mean?
And I mean, if that's not just asking for an orgy, I don't know what is. But you used to be able to, like, so if you and your mates had Tinder, like, if you all had separate accounts, you could like swipe with them. So there would be like group swiping. So there would be a group of girls and a group of guys, and you'd swipe. And I think they played it out like, oh, it was classed as like a party, like, oh, you can go out and meet up and have a good time and stuff like that. I mean, I never did it. I'd swiped on it, but I never actually met up with like the groups of girls. But it was like, you were just asking for trouble, right? 3 lads, 3 girls, like it was a weird concept.
Everyone's consenting adults.
Yeah, but
that's a totally different experience.
Different experience.
But yeah, I'm just trying to, I guess, consolidate my point, which I think is, I would say to anyone listening, do strive to meet someone as quickly as possible. It's not a scary thing, even though it might be. Seeing someone in person is probably quite a big deal for a lot of people. But you're setting yourself up for a much healthier experience, I think. Because at least if you meet up and say, oh, that was really nice, but it's not going any further.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you've got weeks and weeks and weeks of investment potentially where you really, like you said, build up that fantasy. And then you've got a massive crash back down to reality when the person in the flesh isn't who you thought they were.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's not to say as well that there's not people out there that they both want to sit on an app for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and talk, and like that's fine. It's
If
down
that's
to
what
each.
you want,
Yeah.
but then I'd question, well, what's the point?
Yeah. And
but
that's maybe because you and
everyone's
I
got
are
their own
both
minds.
people that were like, kind of, with maybe not forward, but it's like, right, you know what your intentions are, so you're going to go for them. And you're going to be like, right, this is what I want. This is what it's a level of expectation, isn't it? I guess. Whereas other people, they might just be like, oh, I just want to sit here and talk for 2 weeks, and in my opinion, that's, like you say, a waste of time.
And I think that's more likely to be representative of someone who is using it to fill a bit of a void.
Yeah.
And
the therapist came out.
I know, sorry.
That's okay.
I can't help it.
No, mate. We have to use our life experiences.
But
to
me, it says something more like it's a pastime.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been actually a genuine connection.
I've been that guy who talks, and it's like they're like, oh, I mean, not recently, but like many years ago, it's like, oh, are we ever going to meet up? Like, yeah, of course we will. And I'm like, I'm typing this, knowing full fucking well I'm never going to. And it's like, like, why are you being a dick to this girl? Like, she thinks that you're interested, and all you're doing is just that stringing her along. Yeah, I'm interested. We'll meet up.
Well, because it might be that there could be someone else.
Yeah.
The thing with modern dating and dating apps for me as well is that we're more reluctant, I think, to settle on dating one person at a time. Not settle for, but settle on. The idea of saying, I'm going to give this person my full attention to see if there could be something. No, I'll hedge my bets, like we said earlier, and I'll see. You know, I'll be honest and say that I've gone on dates with people before and then gone back home and, thought the person was really nice and was definitely a second date there, but I've gone back on the app.
Mate, I've been on dates where their phone has been on the table and they're literally getting notifications through the app. And I'm like, I've got a choice here. I either accept it for what it is and be like, well, that's fine. Like, we're not exclusively dating.
But on the date. If you can't give someone the date.
I mean, I must have been so fucking boring.
If you can't give someone the time on a date to just get to know them without just checking your phone for a second. It's quite disheartening if you're the date and you see all the notifications of the app showing up on someone's phone. You're like, just put your phone away.
Yeah.
Just talk to that person while you've got them for however long.
I feel like this girl was doing it on purpose, if I'm honest.
She wanted you to know.
I think she wanted me to know, yeah. I mean, she quickly got... But we didn't go on another date. But this was many moons ago now, a long time ago. But yeah, like I think if we bring it back, because we're coming to the end of this episode now, and like we've gone very quickly.
I'm not finished. I've got more to say.
I've never said that.
You're going to say a bit of an innuendo. Go on, what are you saying?
Just saying, like, I think this is we could probably make another episode out of this in terms of modern day dating.
Several, probably, yeah.
We've focused a lot. Well, pretty much the whole episode on modern day dating apps. I think I'd love to talk about that first date scenario, like second dates and all of that kind of thing. Yeah,
it's one of my favourite things to talk about. The first date,
because like we talk about tiers there. There's a tier in like the dating. Where do you go? What do you do? Do you go for coffee? So I think we'll follow that up on another episode, maybe in a couple of weeks. But kind of like you've just given a lot of advice about. Make your intentions clear, and
you said that.
Okay, well, it's a joint.
We can share it. You said make your intentions clear.
Yeah.
I said meet the person as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Make sure they're not a serial killer first.
Yeah, but do try and check.
Yeah, we don't want these. I think what we need to just make clear is that we're not saying dating apps are bad.
No,
we've very much said about the positivity of being able to connect with so many people, and just to touch on that, everyone thinks they've got a type. Right, and I think that's kind of one massive positive about modern day dating, internet dating, is that your stereotypical person that you think that you're interested in, you swipe on people that you might not normally go up to in a bar. And me personally, I know I had a type in terms of physical features, and I'm quite happy to say now, maybe I'm getting older and wiser with my taste or whatever, but I've expanded my horizons, if you like. I'm just like, swipe everybody now. No.
Yeah, let's give everyone a chance because we don't know who they are.
But yeah, I'm not going to, like, I'll be straight up. I probably wouldn't go up to a blonde in a bar because I was always a brunette guy. But I've now been speaking to, well, I not recently, but I've spoken to blonde females, and I'm like, what have I been missing out on for so many years? Because I'm fucking judging it on a hair colour.
That's another episode again, because I would love to pick your brains on how people just go by hair colour.
Yeah, well,
I'm a blonde or a brunette guy.
So there's.
Oh,
you'll probably have heard about
that's a huge tangent.
There's a psychological thing about you go for what you think of yourself. Have you heard this?
Yeah, well, we're looking for a carbon copy of us.
Yeah, and I'm pretty fucking fantastic. So, joking. I'm so egotistical.
You are pretty great. There's a healthy amount of self-worth.
But yeah,
there.
there's that tangent again. But yeah, basically, the positivity. You are so open to connecting with so many different people that you might not necessarily have thought you were interested in. And we got binged out. I don't know what that was. And
laptop noise.
Yeah, the opportunities to meet new amazing people. That is one massive positive from an internet dating point of view. But to touch on the negatives, you kind of need to. It's that whole thing of love yourself first before you really, really do put yourself out there, because you can suffer some negative effects if you're expecting something, and you need to be aware that not everybody is on it for the same reason as you. Do you think that's fair to say?
I do, and I think loving yourself first is a powerful concept. I think in practice it is something that takes work and it takes time. But if you can just have a conversation with yourself first before you use an app and say, okay, what's my intention? Like you said. And
it doesn't matter what that intention is.
No,
it can be whatever the fuck you want it to be. About it. Just be clear.
But also then take each interaction as it comes. Like if you match with someone, for example, and you message them and they don't reply, the healthiest thing to do is to say, oh, well, I don't know what's going on in their lives.
No.
I matched with them because I liked what they looked like, but I didn't know them.
Yeah.
So no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Or if somebody messages back and you get into a bit of conversation, then all of a sudden they disappear, which is, I guess, ghosting. Again, conversation with yourself. Oh, well, I'm disappointed. That's not wrong. But I've got to manage that disappointment and say, well, I didn't know them. So I will move on to the next. I'll carry on using the app and see what more connections.
Plenty more fish in the sea.
Plenty more fish in the sea. I'll go on to a completely different app.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate Tinder.
Yeah.
I'm going on Plenty of Fish.
Yeah.
But if you can manage your own reactions to how other people respond to you on dating apps, I think that's a very healthy position to be in.
Yeah. You've got all the power at the end of the day.
Exactly. And you get to determine how that goes.
Yeah.
And if you are honest with yourself, and if you get matches and you're sort of frantically holding all of these conversations with multiple people, you're probably not approaching it in a particularly grounded way. You might be overwhelming yourself. You might be thinking, well, I've got to find the perfect person. Whereas if you slow things down and maybe spend a bit of time focusing on one person at a time, just my opinion, then you give that a real opportunity to become something real and genuine, whether it works or not. And then if it doesn't, that's fine. Go back on the app, carry on, see who else comes into your reality. But I think sometimes we can be very hard on ourselves and on other people.
Yeah.
And actually, to make the dating apps healthy, we've just got to be a little more relaxed about it, in my view.
Yeah. Nah, solid advice there. No, I rate that. Well, mate, this is the end of this episode on modern dating.
I'm sad about it. I've got so much more to talk about, but we will do way more episodes on that. We've covered so many things in this episode already that we could make its own episode.
Yeah, we've scratched the surface of modern day dating, but like we say, we'll talk about the actual going on the dates, and I would love to hear some of your chat up lines as well, like your opening lines.
Any. Is that bad?
You don't have any?
No, I'm just like, hi.
Hey.
Hey. But no, I don't have any. I
That's
think
why Hinge is good, because there's
chat
prompts.
up lines are just... My initial word is that they're just fucking weird. Why do you need a chat up line? Why not go, hi, nice to meet you?
I mean, if I hear hello Fireman Sam one more time, then
It's always on the scene. Fireman Sam.
It never gets old, people. It never gets old.
Clean. Fireman Sam, you cannot. Anyway,
Anywho,
I am
right.
open to a record deal. Should anyone have heard that?
Yeah. And I will pay you not to sign him. So, guys, thank you very much for listening to Flex Your Feelings on Modern Dating.
Thank you, everybody.
James.
How do you get out? We need to tell them how to get in touch. We do have an Instagram page.
Oh,
we are trying to grow.
Grow, yes. So at Flex Your Feelings,
Yes,
is the Instagram.
it is.
Flex Your Feelings podcast on Spotify as well.
Yes,
and there will be a Facebook
wherever you
page
get your
coming.
podcasts. Yeah.
Wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you get them from. And if you do want to message us on Instagram, subjects, be a guest, anything you might need advice with, anything like that, please do drop us a message, and James will respond to you accordingly.
Oh, what? We will both.
Because I haven't got the login yet.
I do. I've got full intention of actually giving you those details.
Yeah, he's kind of.
It's on a long list.
Apparently, it's a fucking secret, but yeah, it is what it is. He's quite happy to take my Apple ID password, but he won't give me the Instagram password.
I felt a bit naughty taking that. I was like, but I need it because Apple won't let you go on there unless you have an Apple ID.
Yeah.
And I'm an Android user. Anyway, but yeah, please feel free to get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time. Thank you very much.
Until next time.